Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. Pod Up, because we are Gator fans. So say it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning and welcome to a Tuesday edition of the program. Glad you're along for the ride. It's Pod Up with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to carry. It's Tuesday. That means we have the great, good old Buddy Martin from the Buddy Martin Show here in Gator Bait Media. Second portion of today's program will be joined by UF men's head golf coach, JC Deacon. Talk a little bit about his squad and the TPC coming up this weekend. If you missed it last night, March Madness is in full effect. Wonderful game in the SoCon between Furman and Chattanooga. Furman scores a layup with 4 seconds to go up by 2. They inbound the ball, and about 4 guys on this dude from Chattanooga. He's a half-court shot. It goes in, and the Moccasins head to March Madness. So, good stuff. SEC tournament starts tomorrow. ACC cranks up today. Good time of the year. But let's go to the Titan MR hotline. And we're joined by our good friend from the Buddy Martin Show. You can watch Buddy every weeknight, Monday through Thursday, on Facebook Live about 9 p.m. Eastern. Good morning, Buddy. How are you?
Good morning, Shane. I didn't see that, but you saw it during my show. And you said, oh, my God, what has happened now, you know?
Yeah, it was awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, these are the moments that make March Madness so strange. You know, Matt McCall, who has been deposed by, unfortunately, Massachusetts for his final season. He coached Chattanooga there for a couple of years and did pretty well with it. So, yeah, the Mocs making it with the dramatic way, right? A lot of drama.
Yeah, they were the 1 seed, and Furman tried to go for the upset. But, yeah, Matt McCall, a good friend of our program, Ocala boy, he'll get into coaching. I mean, he'll stay into coaching. Somebody will hire him.
Yeah.
He's been around a long time.
Yeah.
It happens. UMass is a hard place to win now. I don't know if they'll ever get back to their glory days under Calipari, but we'll see. Buddy, bunch of the stuff I want to talk to you about. Obviously, I want to get your thoughts real quick on the SEC tournament. It cranks up tomorrow. Gators play, I guess it's the noon or 1 o'clock game on Thursday against A&M, who is also, a lot of people say, on the bubble. Florida's got to win this game, and then they probably have to beat Auburn, don't you think, to get in?
Yeah, I think so. According to I don't go by Joe Lunardi. I go by Franz Beard, who's my guy, and he tells me last night that's what has to happen. Yeah, it's a tough out. It's a tough deal. You kind of, you know, A&M lost, what, 8 in a row or something? They're 500. Alabama's going to be under 500 in the SEC. They had a good goal to get season going, but they got a couple of key wins, quality wins. Florida's got some ugly losses, you know, Texas Southern and what have you.
But Texas Southern, I believe, they went like 15-2 in their conference. They went to the tournament last year.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably going to the tournament this year. So I mean, you shouldn't lose to them, but I don't consider that a bad loss.
Well, they didn't play well. They played poorly.
Here's the thing. And I screenshot this from John Calipari. He says any team in the SEC that goes 9-9 should be in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
The top 4 teams in our league went 35-1 at home, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know who beat Arkansas in Bud Walton Arena? They only lost the top 4 teams.
Texas Southern? I don't know.
No. It was. I'm talking about in conference play.
Yeah.
It was Vanderbilt beat Arkansas.
Yeah.
Calipari said we are the best league, and our teams deserve that respect. So,
well, we'll see. Maybe it will work out that way. But you asked my question about it. I think it's a tough goal. You know, I'm presuming they can beat A&M, although it depends how they shoot. Coach Spurrier on the show last night when you were on, after you were on, talking about how much he likes his team, how much he likes Mike White as a coach, and thinks they play really good defense to get back. And he's like with a coach, but as he said, they need some shooters. And the one thing that didn't get mentioned very much in the Kentucky game was Kentucky's defense just shut down the 3-point game for Florida. They could not. Appleby couldn't make his. They just couldn't make any 3-point games. I don't know what the final stats were. They were atrocious shooting. I know that. And like Coach says, Fergus says, they just had a couple of 3-point shooters. That'd be a good team. Well, maybe they can do that. But somebody's got to hit some shots, and I would hope it would be Appleby that would do that coming up against A&M, and then we'll see about it. Auburn. Auburn's a good team. They're going to be tough to beat. But you could still lose. I mean, Auburn can lose and not get hurt, really, but Florida cannot lose.
Yeah, we got a text on the Titan MR text line. It comes from Jim. He says, "Buddy, in your opinion, if the Gators do not make the NCAA tournament, will Mike White be the basketball coach next year?"
No doubt in my mind, and I've been told by one or two really smart people close to the program, there ain't no way he's getting fired. He ain't getting fired. And if his team had not played well, and his team he made some mistakes. Sometimes he doesn't finish the game the way he should. But when you look at what happened to him, I'm not making excuses. And I don't want to get in this debate about Mike White. Mike White's going to be the coach. Okay, he's going to be the coach. And when you think about losing the players he's lost, I mean, Jatobo, how about Keontae? My gosh, player of the year preseason, couldn't play. And he's had to really scramble. And, I think all in all, it's been an okay season. He could end it off by getting to the tournament. That would make it easier. But no, he's the coach. He's going to be the coach. If you talk to people in coaching, you talk to guys who know about coaching, like Coach Spurrier may be a football coach, but he knows basketball. You know that. And they say he's a good coach. Everybody I've ever talked to say he's a good coach. So I say, no, he's the coach at Florida. I'd like to see what he gets in the transfer portal, recruiting, see what he can do 1 year with healthy guy. Hey, let me just say very quietly, we hadn't even talked about this. Colin Castleton's had a terrific year. I mean, he really has, and even with the injury. And he got second team all SEC. Of course, he's not going to beat out Sheedway, but he has had a really, really good year. The guy's good foul, really great foul thrower shooter, plays tough D, has developed a little bit of a jump shot now, which makes this game more interesting for the NBA. So, yeah, no, Mike White's the coach, and let's get off that right now. Let's move on to the tournament. That's time. You can talk about that next year if he comes out and goes 0-5.
Yeah, Dan says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melon Law, something you mentioned. Franz brings up a great point that Kentucky brings 2 buses of staff and players to Florida. Mm-hmm. Florida only has 1 bus of people. Invest in your program, get better results. That's true, but it also that logo is a little bit different in basketball than any other sport up there in Lexington.
Well, yeah, no doubt. And look, all due respect to Kentucky basketball, since I was this high. I've been following, seeing great Kentucky teams, and you would only aspire to play anywhere near that program. And for a minute, Billy Donovan had it going on. But this team, and Cal, I don't care what rules you want to play by, he's going to figure out some way to win. He doesn't get the credit for being a good coach. He's a great coach, I think. And when he goes, the SEC will miss him in that program. So it's not easy to maintain a program like that, as we see in football. Very, very hard. And in fact, I'm doing a piece I'll talk to you about later. But the whole thing on coaches aging out, we saw what happens when a coach is aged out. And no better example than Duke and Coach K, and him going out in style, but at 75, he's done. So you better hang on to these coaches while you got them. And you better enjoy it while you got it, because they don't fall off the back of turnip trucks. Great coaches are hard to come by.
Yeah, Jeff says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mental Law, other college coaches have tremendous respect for Mike White. Yes, they do. Yeah. Andy asked this question. I'll answer it as well. He asked, Buddy, will Colin Castleton play in the NBA? My answer is no.
Mm-hmm. Well, he may play in Europe first, but I think he will eventually play in the NBA. And now that he's developed that little mid-range jumper a little bit, he plays hard. He's a big guy. I'd like to see him have a little better hands at times, but he handle the ball. But I think he can play there, but he's going to need a little seasoning. Probably will have to go to Europe.
Yeah, we'll see. The NBA game is so different. I don't think Oscar Sheedway will make it in the NBA.
Really?
I don't. I think he'll be a guy. I think he'll be a journeyman. the kids on Kentucky's team that are going to be NBA guys are the Toppin kid and Ty Washington. Those are NBA guys. Sheedway, he's only about 6'8". So I'm concerned, 6'8" is usually like your small forward in the NBA.
Right.
You got to be play small forward. You got to be really athletic and guard people out on the perimeter and shoot. So I don't know. I could be wrong. I think he's a hell of a player. I think what people forget too. Do you know where he came from, buddy?
The Congo.
No. He's a transfer.
No. Yeah, no, he's a transfer. Yeah.
He's a transfer from West Virginia.
Right.
Yeah. So I think people think this is somebody that came straight to Kentucky.
Right.
No,
right. Good point.
He's a transfer.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So Lauren says that he thinks that Castleton will be in the G League or over in Europe. I agree with that 100%. I just don't. Nothing against Colin. I think he's a hell of a hot college player, but the NBA game is just totally different. And the biggest difference between Florida and Kentucky right now are the Jimmies and Joes. When you look back at when Billy had success against Kentucky, we had a bunch of pros playing. We got to get back to that. And see Ruse Ogre State Farm.
And they all stayed an extra year too. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Ruse Ogre State Farm is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. They offer the essential needs of auto, home, and life and health insurance and more. Just ask them. Give them a call. Visit them at ogreinsurance.com or give them a call at 352-240-1779. Speaking with Buddy Martin on the Titan MR hotline. Andy says no one thought Chandler Parsons would play me. I'm one of those guys, but he could shoot.
He could shoot.
If you watch the NBA, you look at the scores last night. If you just scroll, it's like 132 to 124. The days of the Bulls and the Knicks playing 79, 78 games are over.
Ain't no defense anymore.
Basketball.
Well, shooters get paid more. So there you go.
That's right, buddy. We got a text here, and it came from William. William wanted to get our thoughts on the Calvin Ridley situation.
Yeah.
Okay, I got my thoughts on it. I want to hear yours first.
All right. So I'm having a hard time figuring this out. And everybody's talking about all the egregious things that other players have done, including beating women that we know who they were. They got 6 months or so.
Or a few games.
Well, it's 6 games, I think. I didn't mean 6. I meant 6 games. I'm sorry. 6 games is what the going rate was for the guys that did it. And now you got a guy suspended for a year for betting a parlay that included Atlanta, bet $1,500 one time. And the problem I got with it, how can the NBA not acknowledge that they are in bed with gambling? And how? I mean, the NFL is in bed with gambling.
They have like six major sponsors.
Yeah,
that involve. Look, I sat in those meetings for 14 years.
Yeah.
About they didn't even want you to go to a casino to play blackjack or anything, which I get it. But times have changed, and for them, in my opinion, for them to have major sponsors. I mean, you saw during the Super Bowl, Caesars Sportsbook has the entire Manning family.
The Mannings, yeah.
Yes. So I totally disagree with it because it's exactly what it is. And I have a problem with it. I don't know what the right and wrong things are to do about it. But if they had not, like back when I played, there was no association, there was no sponsor or anything. But whether it's DraftKings, Caesars, you name it, I don't know how they can punish a kid with what he did. I just don't.
And not only that, I mean, look, there was a time when you couldn't even mention the lines on the NFL shows.
Right.
Jimmy the Great Star was a big breakthrough, in terms of that kind of stuff. But the fact is, you couldn't even mention that people gamble. And now the NFL is taking that money of Caesars and everybody else, and now all of a sudden it's okay for everybody some Calvin Ridley. It's kind of the same thing with smoking weed. I don't care what you feel about it. In Colorado and other places, it's legal to do that. But the NBA, I guess, if you're in the NFL, you could get suspended for that. I don't understand the rules. It's a different day, a different game. I'm not saying it's good or bad. Look at the transfer portal. Look, we never thought we'd see that in our lifetime. Look what goes on there. Look at NIL. Completely has changed everything. Paying players. It's all different. So how can you, in this time when everything's changed, suddenly suspend the guy for 1 year? Really got suspended.
Yeah,
1 year.
Cost him like $11 million his contract.
Yeah, for a $1,500 bet. I mean, what is he spoken? What's Goodell spoken there, man? How can the players union? I don't think the players union can allow that to stand.
Well, no, and Rick says here gambling has kept Pete Rose out of the Hall of Fame. Yes, John says, isn't Pete Rose still banned for something like this? Yeah, but the difference is it's about the National Football League having 6 to 7 title sponsors that are gambling establishments.
Right,
that's the problem.
Yeah. It's dirty money or it's not dirty money. You make up your mind, and you can't start it. How can you continue to tell the players they can't do things ordinary citizens can do? That's the whole hypocrisy of the thing. So it's a lousy decision. I predict it won't hold.
Yeah, Dan says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Meldon Law, the NFL talks integrity, but takes the casino's money. Yep. It's like an Alcoholic Anonymous being sponsored by Jack Daniels. That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy. Good analogy. So, Lauren says he's pseudo banned. They honor him, but he can't be in the hall. He can come to games now. I guess he's referring to Pete Rose. I'm not sure. But anyway, I just wanted to get your thoughts. I just think it's very hypocritical.
No, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on
very
that.
Very hypocritical.
Yeah.
So I will be anxious to see what the Players Association does.
Yeah, I would say
I don't think it's over with.
Although they can't seem to get the baseball strike settled of the Major League.
Well, I will tell you this. The NFL Players Association is the best players association.
Yeah.
Well, the NFL, when you compare the NFL to the other professional sports, they got their crap together. We have the bet now. We don't have the NFL.
Well, you were a rep, weren't you? Weren't you a rep a couple of years?
I didn't want to have to deal with that crap.
No,
I just paid my dues every year. But the NFL has the best benefits of any other professional organization out there. Now, they don't have the guaranteed contracts like basketball and baseball, but they have the other good stuff. So anyway, enough of that. I just want to get your thoughts on that. All right, buddy. So baseball takes 2 out of 3 against the Miami Hurricanes. It's always a good thing when you go to Coral Gables and come out a winner.
Ocala Power Company, Judd Fabian is starting to heat up a little bit. And his little brother, obviously, and Sterling Thompson, all Ocala guys. And Barco's pitching great. And now Sproat apparently is really looked terrific. So baseball team starting to get in shape and get focused, and got a little bit of rough start. So that's going on. That's good. And also softball team has got its course right. Coach Spurrier last night ticked off all this great history. He made a good point on this. I keep bringing it up, but he was very good last night. And he has studied now the history of the success of Florida sports. And we talked about the fact that coaches get eaten up alive, like I said, like with their Cheerios for breakfast. Fans and football coaches, they just eat them alive. And the one guy who survived that without getting fired was Spurrier. And talking about that. And I said, why are Florida fans so hard on their football coaches? Because they've all been fired but 1 or 2, and his theory is, and we've talked about this a little bit, talked about it last night on my show with you, is that he says Gator fans don't know their history. Do you realize, and he ticked off all these championships and volleyball and, football and all the whole records of the school. And he didn't say the word entitled, but it seemed like he was saying Gator fans feel like they're entitled to win all the time, but they don't know what hard times were like. Shane, you started at football. Prior to that, there was only a couple of good seasons in there that we can go back to, and obviously no SECs. But what we don't like about Gator fans is like the old saying, they're born on third base and think they had a triple, one of those deals. And so I think this whole thing with coaches and the whole thing with is around age. And keep this in mind: we are losing great coaches, and we're going to lose some. We saw one in Mike Krzyzewski at a moment that was difficult for everybody, when uncomfortable when he made the speech at the end. Now, the ages of some other coaches. Coach Spurrier officially retired last night on my show. He never really. He says he's not going to coach anymore. He said he talked to Jerry and told Jerry, "Well, we won down in Orlando, and so we won. They declared us the champion. So I'm going out a winner." And he says, "You know it, and I know it. That's all that matters." So back to the question of what happens to fans, what happens to coaches, and we're going to lose some great coaches. Boeheim will be next. Boeheim is the oldest coach in Division I history.
The dude's been coaching for like 50 years at Syracuse.
77 years old, as oldest ever. It was a couple of years ago. And you look at that, we talk about Saban. He's 70. I don't think he'll change much. Belichick, by the way, he's 69. I looked up some ages of people here. I'm thinking we're fixing to lose some great coaches in the next 4 or 5 years, or 2 or 3 years. It's happening. So that's going to change everything.
So did Coach, having said, when y'all's discussion about people being hard on Florida football coaches, the fan base, did he mention that winning 10 games every year, 9 or 10 games every year was the reason why he said see ya after the Orange Bowl back in the day?
Didn't say. I think it was just time for him. He now says in his book, which, by the way, he told me they got a few left at the restaurant. If you're interested in buying one, but he said at that time, he shouldn't have left. He said in the book, "I made a mistake when I left." And he said, "I'll never take another job for money." Because keep in mind, he was the first $1 million coach.
Yeah.
Back then, that was a ton of money. Now, Shane, I'll buy you a cup of coffee. It's $10 million now, the price. So that's what's happened. So no, he didn't ever say. I think it was just time. And I think the money has definitely influenced him. And his old coach, Pepper Rogers, was the liaison guy for the Redskins, if I may call him that. That's what they were called then. So he quoted Pepper Rogers last night. Says, "Coaches don't get fired for being too old. Coaches get fired for losing."
That's true. That is true. So, all right, buddy. So, are you a guy that, with the conference tournament starting today, are you a guy that sits around with your popcorn and your root beer and sit there and watch games all day?
No, I won't on the conference level. I will when the Final Four starts. I'll start watching it. I mean, I watched Florida, obviously, and a few local teams, state teams. A little bit here, a little bit there, and then of course I'll watch the finals. But history shows us you don't need to win the finals to win a national championship. So I'm a basketball fan, but I'm a football fanatic.
Yeah, I'm with you. Buddy, I got a question for you here. I'm on this text feed with some buddies of mine, and we love college sports, and we love like logos.
Yeah.
Like the Wichita State little mascot guy, the little shocker guys. One of my favorites.
Yeah.
But another one, Eastern Kentucky, or they're called the Colonels. And so they got this old Colonel Reb looking guy.
Yeah.
But I started thinking, how do we get the word colonel out of the way it's spelled?
Like colonel?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because the popcorn is KERNEL and the officer is COLONEL. That's a good question. I have to look that one up. I don't know.
I mean, I started thinking about it, because we're sending these pictures, of what we like, and I'm going, how in the world is that word pronounced colonel?
Yeah, there's a few like that. I'll think of some others for you one day. One of the Fabians posted some weird looking little orange object for the Hurricanes.
I saw that.
And I said, "What is this? I've never seen it before. Have you?" I wish I had it to put it up, but it's some kind of weird looking orange little balloon type thing. It's strange. I'm not sure, but I don't know how you get Colonel out of COLONEL, but
that's off subject here, but I had to bring that up. All right, but before we let you go, you and I like to talk golf.
Yeah.
I talked about it on your show last night. I talked it on my show yesterday, and I'm going to talk to JC Deacon about it today. Roy McIlroy was bitching and complaining about how hard Bay Hill was. You covered golf a long time.
No.
You like how Bay Hill had it set up where these boys struggled?
Yeah, you got to give him. But that's what makes the U.S. Open the U.S. Open. And Arnie always wanted a U.S. Open type course. And as they said on, I believe it was Azinger said it might have been Hicks. Who says Arnie always wanted the kind of conditions where you had to really be on your A game to come down the stretch and win at Bay Hill, because those first three holes are bears at Bay Hill, as you know. And he never seemed to get them. But this year, for the first time, if ever, he got them. And it was without the wind, by the way, which is another factor that makes Bay Hill hard at times. But no, I like it that way. I think that maybe the greens got a little crispy, but that's part of the game.
Yeah.
The smart ones know how to adjust that. They know that the step meter is going to read a 14 on the final day, whatever, because the greens get dried out. That is an outdoor game. You have to adjust to the weather and conditions. And I get it. I know players don't like to have to sweat like that, and they make their living that way. I like McIlroy. He's a good player and he brings a lot of tradition to the game, but he's wrong about that. Listen, you talk about the course that could burn you up. You wait till they get to the players. If the conditions are not exactly right, it's not going to be May, as we know, not anymore. And that golf course could eat you alive, especially the finishing holes.
Yeah, it's an outstanding golf course. I just don't remember it ever being that difficult for them, and I loved it. I think it should be like that week in and week out. It makes it much more exciting, I think, for the hacks like ourselves to see them struggle. And you should be penalized when you miss a fairway. You shouldn't be able to walk over in a rough and have a decent lie. At some of these places, they do.
Yeah,
Lawrence,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you're talking about changes and things. I see one of the things baseball is talking about is eliminating the shift, which has changed baseball, the Rays especially. This has been around since Ted Williams. It was called the Ted Williams shift back in the day. But when they start dictating that, I don't know if you should be able to do that. I guess you could if you wanted to, but no. Shane, you wouldn't like it too well, however, if you're in a football game and the defensive line was starting to hit you upside the head and a sloppy weather day and whatever, and people wouldn't feel sorry for you, Shane. I guess you don't feel sorry for the golfers.
I definitely don't feel sorry for the golfers, because they wouldn't want me as a damn greenskeeper. I can promise you that, buddy.
concrete greens.
Boy, I'd have so much damn rough, they wouldn't know what to do.
The bunkers are absolutely pristine. I know I've had it happen to our tournament when the sand was just a tiny bit off. The players didn't like it. Are you kidding me? Playing a cow pasture sometimes, and see how you like those traps, those bunkers.
Yep. All right. So who are you picking to win the Players?
Do I have to do it today?
Well, I won't talk to you till it's over.
All right, I'll pick my wife's famous.
Or you can be like JC and let us know once the tournament's over who you picked.
I'm gonna go with Spieth early on because my wife loves him. She won't watch.
You like Spieth, don't you?
Well, it's my wife's favorite player. She watches him every time he plays. So I'll take Spieth. Who you got?
Ooh.
So you don't know either. Yeah.
I haven't really thought about it. Justin Thomas is your defending champ.
Yeah.
Man, Scotty Scheffler is playing great golf right now, but. Oh man,
How about your man Xander Schauffele? What happened to him? You were picking him, everybody.
Well, he didn't play last week, but he's solid. You can go ahead and book. He's going to be in the top 10. I can promise you that.
Okay.
I'm going to go out and say, gosh, I don't like playing chalk, but I'm going to pull for Xander to win. I don't think. Well, he doesn't play well he's a California kid.
Yeah,
I think Bermuda grass really bothers him, but I'm going to pick him anyway. What the hell?
Yeah, I read something interesting today. Somebody said that Tiger Woods never hit Bermuda greens, never hit his putts hard enough because he wouldn't change his stroke because it would affect Augusta. How about that? If he hit his putts harder, think what he could have done on Bermuda grass. Yeah,
good stuff, buddy. Who you got on the show tonight?
Well, tonight I've got my man David Moulton back on, and we're going to talk a little bit about the SEC tournament and do our usual stuff that we do right here on the Buddy Martin Show at 9 o'clock. Thanks for asking.
All right. We appreciate your time, buddy.
Thank you, man. Have a good show.
That's Buddy Martin from the Buddy Martin Show. You can hear him every Monday through Thursday, 9 p.m. on Facebook Live. Going to take a timeout, come back. We'll be joined by University of Florida men's head golf coach J.C. Deacon talking about his squad. and a little bit about the PGA Tour. You're watching and listening to Pot Up with Matthews in the Morning.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Doreen Wiebe Realtor, Caldwell Banker MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Aikido America, Style Cuts, Big Mills Cheesesteaks. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Celebration points where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Nike, Regal Cinemas, Le Macaron, Bass Pro Shops, International Diamond Center, Prime and Pearl, and the HBC's restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, now serving brunch on Saturdays and Sundays. We'll see you at Celebration Point where the Gators go to celebrate. We're now going to go back to the Titan MR hotline, and we're joined by men's head golf coach, JC Deacon. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Hey, Shane. How are you, buddy? Good to see you.
Doing well. First off, we talk a lot of pro golf on my show. We don't get to talk a whole lot about college. Sometimes college golf's kind of hard to follow. Just talk about your spring season has cranked up, how the team is doing. I know you won a couple tournaments early, and some of the players that are playing real well for you.
Yeah, it's been an awesome start to the spring. The guys had I guess it started kind of back in October. We had a heck of an off season. We really challenged the guys to take advantage of our weather down here and the great golf course that we got on campus. And our guys got to work and paid off. We started the season at TPC Sawgrass at the Valley course. We got our first win of the year there at the Seabest Invitational, and then came home about a week and a half after that and defended our home turf here with Oklahoma State. I think was number 2 ranked team in the country at the time. They came and took us on here, and we were able to win that, which was great. And Fred Biondi got his first collegiate victory there. He shot 14 under, played some unbelievable golf, and beat his roommate Ricky Castillo by 4 shots. So that was a fun weekend. And then we just got back from Vegas. We have best field of the year. It's absolutely loaded there. Played with number 1 Oklahoma all 3 days, and I think we learned a lot. We finished 4th. I didn't think we played great the last 27 holes, but 4th place finish there, and we're playing good. So it's been exciting spring so far.
Yeah, talk about Fred Biondi. He was very, very close to making it to Augusta for the Masters.
Yeah, I know Fred's probably still kicking himself a little bit. I think he had a 3 or 4 shot lead on the back 9, and just some things that he's been working on all year, really the last 2.5 years. He just got away from it a little bit, just not committing and trusting himself in certain situations. And he ended up losing by a shot, which was a heartbreaker. But as a competitor, he's done a good job of taking the positives out of that. And he's come back and finished first, obviously, like I said, at our home tournament. And then he just finished second in Vegas in probably the best field that you'll see in college golf all year. So he's playing great, second, first, second. And he's an unbelievable teammate and kind of the centerpiece of our culture. And we're very lucky to have Fred Biondi, that's for sure.
We got a Facebook Live here brought to you by Meldon Law. Andy asked, JC, how important are Billy Horschel's contributions to the program. You know, it's interesting. You look at the website now, it's got JC, Dudley Hart, former tour player, and then it's got the what is Billy? It's got Billy's picture up there, but what's his title?
Volunteer assistant.
Volunteer. That's it.
Yeah, Billy. Well, it's funny because I've been the best player playing on our staff for a while. Sudden I hire Billy or Dudley and Billy, and I go to third place real quick. So, but Billy's been amazing. We had a great chat this summer, and he really wanted to be more involved. Felt like he's getting a little older and has some time to do that stuff, and kind of knew what he wanted to do for the guys. And he's been amazing. He's establishing his own relationships with them. And obviously, you know, being he's got to be close to a top 20 player in the world right now. I'm not sure exactly what rank is, but we call him the ATM machine because he cashes a massive check every week he plays. It's crazy. But man, that guy bleeds orange and blue. He loves this place as much as anyone, and just wanted to help our guys. So he's teaching them anything that they want to know. And him having the experience and watching what the best players in the world do week in, week out. And, you know, he obviously has close relationships with all those guys. Him being able to provide that feedback to our guys is just huge. And he's added some swagger to our team. I know Billy's got a lot of that, and the guys have felt it. He's come down to Gainesville a couple times and played with the guys and hung out. And it's nice to have him around, and he makes our program so much better. So I'm grateful.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Is he like the first current PGA Tour player kind of as a volunteer assistant coach for his program? And my question to you is, could a current NFL guy, let's say Kyle Pitts, be a volunteer football coach, or is there different rules for the sports?
Well, Mike Spiegler's in here. He's shaking his head at me that you can't do that in football. So,
well, geez, I want to be a volunteer coach, Spiegler.
We're lucky in golf that we're able to do that. You know, my guy Daniel Siegel at compliance over there makes sure we're doing everything right. But no, Billy's been amazing. I know Jason Duffner, I think, was doing that a couple years ago, but there's not many of them. And Billy to really take the time, and we had our first tournament of the spring up at TPC. He was out there for the practice round, first round, second round, and final round. He's out there every second of the event, watching, provided a bunch of feedback to the guys after. And I think that's one of the things that kind of really sets our program apart. It's awesome to have him.
That is awesome. We got a Facebook Live here brought to you by Meldon Law. John asked, Coach, can you talk a little bit about the recruiting aspect of golf? What are you looking for, and how do you go about it?
It's a great question. It's changed a lot. I think as I actually just about Nick Saban right now, and how he does it and how he picks his recruits. It's absolutely fascinating. And but yeah, I think you got to look for speed these days. A player's got to be able to hit it a certain distance. Their character's got to be strong. You're just gonna have adversity in golf. It's coming at some point, no matter what, and you got to be strong enough to handle that. And we love ourselves some good putters. I always look for that, and just good kids. You got to be a good teammate here, because our guys are spending pretty much every day of the school year together. And I want to have a tight group that loves each other and plays hard for each other. And so I know that's a wide range answer, but it takes a lot to be a Florida Gator. We have pretty high standards, and there's only a select few that we can take every year.
We got a text here from the Titanmore text line from Joseph. Joseph wants to know, what is the scholarship breakdown for men's golf? It ain't very much, is it?
No, unfortunately, we got 12 guys on our team right now, and we only get 4.5 scholarships every year. So you do the math. It's not very much. And so a lot of our guys are paying to be here and believe that much in the Florida Gators and the value of this place to be putting their own money up for it. So it's men's golf is down on the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to scholarships, but it's we're really lucky, because I think you end up paying to come to school here. The way we treat you and the resources we can provide for these kids is second to none. So I I believe in anyone that picks this place, whether they're getting a scholarship or not.
Sharon asked on the Titan MR text line, Coach, can you explain to us how you choose the kids that are going to play in the tournaments when you have so many on your roster?
Yeah, that's another really difficult part of our program. We've started to qualify a lot more this year. So one thing I kind of realized in the fall was I guys were playing enough golf. We worked hard and we were practicing hard, but we weren't out there playing enough. So when we got back in January, we had a 10-round inter-team tournament, and essentially the top 5 guys from that 10-round tournament by score got to go represent the Gators at the CBEST Invitational. So we try and base it off score, all things being equal outside of that. So they play against each other at home, and usually the best 5 guys are going to go and play for the Gators on the road.
And your next tournament is, I believe, up in Georgia, correct?
Yeah, we're going up to Reynolds Plantation, great golf course. Yeah, which I hadn't been there. I've heard it's unbelievable. You seen it?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I played. There's so many golf courses up there. I don't know which ones I played. Yeah, but it is a phenomenal. Like, they got the Ritz-Carlton, which is not a normal Ritz. It's like it's the country version of the Ritz, which I like. But Reynolds Plantation is beautiful.
Yeah, I've heard it's unbelievable, but we are so lucky. We played Colonial, Olympia Fields in the fall. We played Isleworth. We played TPC Sawgrass. We just got back from Southern Highlands, and now we're going to Great Waters up at Reynolds. So we're spoiled with our schedule, that's for sure. But great field up there. There'll be a bunch of SEC teams. Vanderbilt's got off to a hot start this spring as well, and they're going to be there. So it'll be a good test for our guys. But we've played really, really well this spring, and I think we've got even more in the tank. So I'm excited to see what our guys can do rounding into SEC time here pretty soon.
Rick says here, it sounds like the golfers need some serious NIL money. Has the NIL money got into golf? I mean, would it be legal for some of your players now to give people in the community a lesson to make money?
Oh man, you're putting me on the spot here. There's something. They would be able to do it for NIL, but I think that puts your amateur status in jeopardy with the USGA, because
I didn't even think about that. Golf's a different deal. Yep.
Yeah, the USGA is trying to maintain a difference between amateur and pro golf, and one of the special things about being a golf pro is teaching, and they want to keep that separate. So I don't think our guys can give lessons, but yes, they can receive NIL, and we're hoping that's going to grow. Obviously, I think that's one of the benefits of being a Florida Gator is the Gator Nation and the people that always want to support and help us out. And I think that's going to grow as time goes on here.
Andy asked here, there seems to be a huge international presence on the roster. How are those golfers recruited?
A kind of different situation for all of them. We've got a young man coming from Dubai next year. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I think, we're very lucky that Gator logo carries a lot of clout, and, recruits are attracted to it. But Fred Biondi's from Brazil. Yushin Lin's been a huge contributor to our team. He's from China. So usually it starts with them being interested in us. Sometimes, Ricky Castillo is playing number 1 for us. He's from California and long way away from home. He saw the advantages of coming down and playing on Bermuda grass and learning a different type of golf that he hadn't been used to yet. So it's nice being a Florida Gator, because you're definitely going to attract them from all over the world. But we want to get the best players in Florida as well. That's really, really important to us, and we have a bunch of those guys on our team as well.
Tom asked on the Titan MR text line, a few more questions here for Coach. Where is the SEC championship being held this year?
It's at Sea Island Golf Club. We play it on the Seaside course there. They've had it there every year it feels like at least 20 years, and it's phenomenal. They play PGA Tour event, the RSM's there every fall, and they get it in perfect condition for us. The weather's usually pretty good. There's a little bit of wind, so it's a great test and something we look forward to every single year.
That's where Danny Werfel had his Florida Georgia Desire Street Cup this year.
Yes.
and it was the week before the week of the Georgia game, and the wind was blowing so freaking hard. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it was like 35 miles an hour. It was not much fun for us hacks out there.
No, you're sitting right on the water there, and there are no trees on that golf course, so you're at the mercy of the conditions for sure.
Yeah, it's a great place, though. All right, Coach, before we let you go here, I want to switch gears to the PGA Tour. Bay Hill. I don't remember ever watching Bay Hill play that hard this weekend. Rory McIlroy came out afterwards and complained, and my whole thoughts are, a pro golfer, if you miss the fairway, you should pay a penalty. We don't need a good lie over in the rough. You look at it from both ways. Just tell me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I was actually a little surprised I read Rory's comments. I was surprised because I love listening to Rory. I think he's might be the best interview out there. He's always extremely honest, as you can see with these comments. But I think the greens might have just been a little bit over the top with how firm and fast they were. I wasn't out there, so I can't speak for it. But I'm with you, Shane. I think if you miss the fairway, you should be in trouble of some sort. You shouldn't just be able to go over there in the rough and pop a wedge on the green. And there's got to be, I think, for some reason, the fans of the PGA Tour, they love seeing the guys struggle, and I get that. And the U.S. Open's fun to watch, and I don't think it's a bad thing to have. I think 5 under won this week. Scotty Scheffler played great on the weekend and got it done. But I think if you have the right attitude and embrace the challenge, it's frustrating. There's no doubt. Golf's already frustrating as it is, and then when you put super firm and fast greens out there, it's going to drive us all nuts. But I think it was a nice change up, and Bay Hill's obviously a phenomenal course with great tradition. So I like them throwing a tough event in there every once in a while like that.
Yes, definitely. All right, who are you picking to win the Players this weekend?
I think Jon Rahm's going to win.
He's pretty good. Well,
he's really good.
He's really, really good.
Yeah,
so
he's due for another big win. Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope, well, my question to you too, let's fast forward to Augusta National, which is one of the prettiest places in the world. Why have they never grown rough there? Because I feel like that whole, recently the way that as far as these guys are hitting the ball now, they're shooting 18, 19, 20 under at Augusta, which I don't like to see. Yeah. But if they grew that rough just a little bit, wouldn't that bring the scores down?
Yeah, I think Augusta, I mean, I'm speaking for them, but I think they're just so big on history and tradition, and that's just how they've always done it, to have no rough, and it gives a certain look, and I don't think they like messing with that. And I know they tried that kind of first cut of rough that at least where if you hit it in there, it made it harder to control the distance. You could catch a flyer and stuff like that, but that went away pretty quickly. So I think it's a tradition, history thing. And I don't mind if the winner at Augusta shoots 20 under and there's some eagles on the back nine and some coming down the stretch. I mean, I know all golf fans, I can see the smile on your face right now. When April gets close and that Masters time's rolling around, it's pretty exciting for all of us. So, and we're very lucky. Chairman Fred Ridley, Nationals, former Gator, and played on the golf team. So it's been nice to follow his work there and have a little connection up at Augusta.
No doubt. Well, Coach, we appreciate you taking the time talking about your squad. We wish y'all a lot of luck the rest of the year. Take it easy on Dudley. Is he asking for shots from you now or what?
We've actually played a little bit this weekend. He's still pretty good and can show the boys what's up. So we've been.
Does he want to play the senior tees?
Yes, he does. He always talks about that. He's like, you guys got to give me a fair chance and let me move up 2 blocks, and we never let him do it. But what a blessing to have a Gator All-American come back and coach his alma mater. He's just, I can't speak highly enough about Dudley. He's done an unbelievable job and certainly helped us get a lot better. So I appreciate you having me, Shane. Thank you, buddy.
Absolutely, Coach. We'll talk to you soon. That's Coach JC Deacon. Join us on the Titan MR hotline. We're going to take our final time out, come back, wrap up this Tuesday edition.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are MB Listing, McDonald's of Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Avera and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Ruse Ogra Agent, State Farm Insurance, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the Advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Are you tired of being sidelined by nagging pain? Hi, I'm Emmett Smith, Hall of Famer and Dance with the Stars champion. Happy to tell you about QC Kinetics and their biologic therapies for treating pain without drugs or surgery.
Are you suffering from chronic pain in your hips, knees, shoulder, or lower back? Are you tired of living with arthritis pain? QC Kinetics offers natural pain treatment that can repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints.
Listen, I know pain, and I've seen firsthand how powerful biologic therapies can be. Patients at QC Kinetics rave about their result because they're getting their lives back. They're getting moving again.
These exciting regenerative treatments used to be available only to pro athletes like Emmett. Now they're available to anyone thanks to QC Kinetics. Call today for your free consultation.
Get long-lasting results from my friends at QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics 352-400-4550. In North Central Florida, call 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios at South State Bank. We understand that small businesses need a community business partner they can rely on. South State has 4 convenient Alachua County locations. South State Bank, banking forward, member FDIC. I want to thank Buddy Martin and Coach J.C. Deacon join us on the Titan MR hotline. Let's get to This Day in Sports, brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. Comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise. Comfort Temp's hiring team members with all levels of experience, great culture and benefits, opportunity for growth. They'll even give you a $1,000 signing bonus for qualified positions. Give them a call, 352-376-2366. This Day in Sports in 1930, baseball slugger Babe Ruth signs a 2-year contract for a then huge $160,000 with the Yankees. The general manager, Ed Barrow, wrongly predicts, quote, "No one will ever be paid more than Ruth." Yeah, he was way wrong. That's brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. Don't forget, Gators play basketball. I got to find out. I think it's a 1:00 game on Thursday. A lot of the ACC, other tournaments crank up tonight or this afternoon. Good time for sure. TPC this weekend. I know a lot of people are over there today. So Military Appreciation Day. They do a tremendous job over there. I've been a couple of times in the past. It's a great event, no question about it. I'm not sure which. They usually have a country artist do the concert. I'm not sure who's doing it this year, but should be a good time for all. I hope you enjoyed today's program. Make sure you tell all your friends and family to like our program, follow us on all the different social media platforms out there. We'd appreciate it. And I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.